One of the first things a musician is formally taught is the pattern of the diatonic scale, the major scale, natural minor, and all the diatonic modes. And while this pattern is really useful and it's not arbitrary, it's usually taught in a way where the student doesn't question it. They sort of learn it by rote, and it's not discovered. Part of the reason for this, I think, is because it's subject to the tyranny of linear thinking. So if we take just the natural notes here, this mixed up diatonic pattern of tones and semitones, and instead of having them in a line, we arrange them in a circle of fifths. We notice that suddenly there's more order here from the diatonic to the non-diatonic side. This circle of fifths, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, spells out our C major and all of its diatonic partners. Now we have this vision of the diatonic scale not as this arbitrary line, but of this model, almost like a planetary object being illuminated from one side. So there are sort of natural analogies we can come to bear on this model, such as the phases of the moon. And indeed, let's take C at the top point here and illuminate this chromatic planet from one side. You can see that we get C Lydian at the top and in fact F sharp Locrian at the bottom. I think of it like a Lydian sunrise all the way through the day to a Locrian sunset. In the middle there's this Dorian noon, and Dorian is a palindromic scale, so this fits beautifully. On the dark side of the moon, incidentally, are our 5 twilight pentatonics. What's beautiful here is that we can see a diatonic scale as containing all the modes and indications of flavour, not this arbitrary order of Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian and so on, but an order of brightness. So here we have C Lydian at the top. We might think of this as the key of G major or E minor, but all of the modes are represented and in the order of brightness. Lydian at the top, Locrian at the bottom. And here's the beautiful thing. As the day moves on, we can think of this as moving from G major to C major, but also if we take C as our reference point, we go from C Lydian, the brightest mode, to C Ionian, the next brightest mode. As the day moves on, so do our positions of each of these modes, and they rotate in a gradual and natural process. And here's the wonderful thing. When C is lost, it's like a new sunrise that appears with B Lydian and E sharp Locrian and G sharp Dorian at its noon point. And this is a gradual, natural and eternal cycle. Which I find illuminating, don't you?